really good basketball team. If you didn't care who won, you had to appreciate the brand of basketball that both teams are playing. We're trying to do what they do. They're trying to do what we do. Take care of the basketball, take good shots, make things tough at the rim. And, at halftime, we shot 62%. We're only up 4. And I'm not sure how much it had to do with us. It had a lot to do with Princeton and their ability to space us and make us make mistakes. And felt like we were just a little more tuned in late in the first half and into the second half. You have to be ready at all times when you're guarding them. But the ball moved. We had some assists. Found a way to get it to caulk down low and get some easy ones. But really proud of the team. We've taken a step that nobody that's ever worn a Creighton uniform has taken. And that's really special stuff. Kyle Korver talked to us before the game about an opportunity to make history, and this is a really fun group to do it with. And but not much time for celebration. As I told Arthur, I want him to go to the Final Four, but I want him to go on our team plane, not to fly there on his own to watch his brother. So we've got some work to do the next 40 hours.
Thanks, Coach. Start with questions here. Right side, second row.
Ryan, just what does this mean? Second Sweet 16 berth now, making Creighton history. What does this all mean to you?
I mean, it's just, at the end of the day, there's 8 teams left, and to be one of those 8 teams is just crazy. I mean, it's what you work for all year. It's what you work for since you get here on campus in the summer, and it's just all the hard work paying off now.
Over on the left side, second row.
All right, Brian Bennett with The Athletic. For Greg and Ryan, Greg, it looked like you pulled Ryan out on one of those timeouts in the first half and said something to him, and then Ryan was really aggressive right after that. Could you guys talk about just what the message was and what happened after that?
His version may be different than mine. We'll see. I didn't like the look in his face, and I knew he was frustrated. We missed a couple opportunities to get him the ball, and he missed a couple opportunities to finish when we did. And I just explained to him that I don't care what happened on the last play. In this huddle, our team needs your face to look like a leader's face. And to his credit, he maybe didn't like it, but he did it and started playing pretty well after that.
That's basically what he told me. Just, sometimes I get frustrated and stop playing with joy, and he just basically told me to get that frustrated look off my face and play with a little joy and have fun, and fixed it after that.
Next question, we'll start here in the right side front row and then to row 2.
Greg, Pete Thamel from ESPN. Whoever wins here on Sunday is going to go to the Final Four for the first time. There's no number 1 seeds in the Elite 8 for the first time. Just what do you think this says about the game and where we are right now?
I mean, it probably speaks to the transfer portal and NIL and how it's going to be tough to predict on any given season who's good and who's not because of who's coming and who's going. We were fortunate to have the core of our team back and then added a very important part in Baylor that's allowed us to move forward. But, college basketball is there's as much parity as there's ever been. And it makes it fun. It's going to make it exciting. It's pretty ironic. San Diego State and ourselves shared a charter to Maui. Brian and I sat across the aisle from each other, from San Diego to Maui and back, and we talked on the way out about wanting to meet in the championship of Maui, and then we'd be okay with one of us winning and one of us losing. So it's pretty ironic that we're going to meet with an opportunity to go to the Final Four. I've got tremendous respect for him. Steve Fisher's been a dear friend for a long time, and a lot of respect for that program. So it's going to be a fun Sunday.
Ryan, it feels like I'm always saying it takes a lot to get you fired up, but it felt like early on there, Princeton was trying to get under your skin. And it looked like you were pumping iron. What was that? Can you explain that to me and just some of what was going through your head during that?
I don't know. I just got in the moment, man, and you know, sometimes I just let a little more emotion than I usually have out. So I don't know. Sometimes I don't think before I do stuff like that. Couldn't really explain it very well.
And Baylor, it felt like you couldn't miss there for a while. Even the kind of shrug you let off after you banked that three. What was going through your head when you hit that one?
Well, I was just thankful it went in. When it came out of my hand, I knew it was way off, so I'm just glad it went in. But, yeah, you know, it's fun. Obviously, you know, tonight it was my night, and, you know, like I've been talking about the whole time, you know, each different player steps up in any given night, and that's what makes it so difficult to guard. So, yeah, just playing with a lot of joy, like Kalk said.
Question on the left side, row 2.
Max Fritch, the Creightonian. Coach, the performance that Baylor had, especially on the shooting end, is that kind of the player you expected to recruit in the offseason?
His shooting has very little to do with the player I recruited and what I was expecting. He's a basketball player that happens to be a good shooter. And he hasn't shot it to the level that he would like to this year on a consistent basis, but he and I have been talking all year that it only takes one game, and at some point in this season when we need you, all your hard work's going to pay off. Very similar message that I've told Francisco all season, and he had his game last weekend. So I was excited about him being part of our team because of who he is and that he's a really good, complete basketball player. He just happens to be a good shooter.
More questions for the Blue Jays? All right, we'll go back to the right side here.
Yeah, for the players, it felt like for a while there that Princeton's zone had threw you off. I guess what was the point you guys felt like you maybe broke through?
I don't remember exactly when we broke through and kind of got in rhythm with that. I think, you know, obviously that's why teams go to zones to try to throw you off, and then maybe got us for a few possessions where we didn't necessarily handle it as good as we know we could. But once we got kind of acclimated to it, I thought we attacked it pretty well and got a few good looks. Almost a highlight dunk out of Art one time or two, but no, I think once we settled in, we did a solid job against it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think, you know, I think we got some pretty good looks early on. We just didn't hit them, and I think, you know, they go to that to try to change the pace of the game a little bit. You know, we got some open looks and we didn't capitalize on them, and you know, it kind of allowed them to get back in the game. But then, like Cole said, we kind of settled down, and we're looking inside more, and he was sealing down low to get some easy baskets.
Yeah, Tosan, their big man, obviously a tough cover, can't really help the way you'd want to, Cole, when he's on the floor. Just how difficult was that matchup, and I guess how'd you feel the second half went in that regard?
I just think he's more unique than most of the fives we played, just because, I guess he's more of a forward. But, I mean, as far as my matchup, just because he has such good ball skills and can drive it and shoot it a little bit, really good passer, kind of like Iguodala and Marquette in that sense. But, I mean, it's just one of those things where you just got to watch a bunch of film on him, get used to kind of what he does, and, you know, prepare as good as you can because he is different than most players I match up against.
Anything else? Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations.